Adam's bringing the heat today. Let's find out what it is. Folks, welcome to the Baseball Brewhaha. We're back. We're a little delayed this week. This guy had 4 consecutive days of sneezing and blowing his nose. Fairly confident I went through about 4 boxes of tissues.
Per day?
No, in total, about one a day. About one a day. So doing a lot better today. I will say that. And so I'm thankful to be over that. But that's not what we're talking about. We have spring training underway Friday. Friday, folks. Games are happening. And I believe if you're a Seattle Mariners fan, that one will be available to watch. So consider yourself warned. It is coming.
It's here.
It's
It's
here.
upon us.
So now we still don't really have anything substantive to talk about for us. I mean, there's always things to talk about. However, we're not really a news channel per se. We're not
Yeah.
doing deep dive into player analysis. Um, we have a little different flavor. Kind of talk about life, baseball, stuff we're reading, stuff we see in the news, whatever it might be. Mostly stuff we're reading. Adam, you've got something to bring. I don't even know what it is. So bring away.
Here we go. I just recently finished the book Culture Code,
Mm-hmm.
and it puts out an idea that's it. When I think about baseball, think about spring training, think about roster construction.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are coming in. We got some new guys, got some old guys. The Mariners came together end of last year, made a push, uh, deep playoff run,
Mm-hmm.
8 outs away from the World Series. And so I'm thinking about team cohesion, thinking about constructing a roster because you think about your favorite team and you want to know, are they going to get Kyle Tucker?
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to get, the biggest name? Boy, we'd love to have the biggest name, but is that
Mm-hmm.
the way teams should approach roster construction? And when I'm doing some reading, just finished Culture Code, and one of the book's pillars is that a highly effective team is a cohesive team where there's this sense of like chemistry, bonding, um, that it's not just about amassing talent. The
Mm-hmm.
talent has to have a sense of shared purpose, and we're working toward this together. And so I'm thinking about, as a Mariners fan,
Mm-hmm.
would I want a team like, say, the Mariners were had the money to sign Shohei and had the money to sign Kyle Tucker or had
Mm-hmm.
the money to sign somebody else, big name.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be a good fit? Would you, Aaron, rather have
Mm-hmm.
a team, big stars, puts butts in the seats,
Mm-hmm.
or a team, cohesive team that, has a vibe, good vibes only?
Yeah, that's a good one because like on watching a professional team like the Mariners, there are two parts of this. So like in one sense, it's like just win. Just win. Um
Well, here's the premise of the part of the premise of the book, though, is
Mhm.
that winning is the result of coming together for a shared purpose. It's not
Sure.
like just everyone go out there and be amazing individually.
Mhm.
And so
Yes,
saying just win. It might not be enough.
right. And I don't have one that comes to the top of my mind here, but I feel like there have been teams that have won a championship that, there have been conflicts in the locker room. That's not, and to say there are conflicts doesn't mean that there's guys that aren't there to help the team win. It's just you have different personalities and that kind of thing. Um, so in one sense, um, the fact that you know, I don't know these people individually. I don't know what's happening in the locker room. I assume in the Mariners case, what I see and what I hear are generally like guys get along. I do, you know, we don't know to what extent or what that looks like all the time, but when Jerry Dipoto and Justin Hollander are making trades or looking to sign free agents or even drafting, it isn't just the talent of the individual, it's whether that individual's work ethic and their personality fit in the team. And so you have situations where Jesse Winker, Gene Segura were guys that there were issues in the clubhouse and they were traded immediately. I mean, essentially right after those things kind of surfaced. Um, um, so yeah, I mean, in terms of it's yeah, the one thing like for instance I think about is like the Houston Astros, the trash can thing, the cheating scandals, and all the stuff that circled them and how they handled it afterwards. Um, and there's like a Houston Astro fan. I remember one time reading a tweet that were basically like saying to Mariners fans, like, look, if you had the decade that we just had, like you would trade it all for this decade, basically. And it's like and once it's hard to argue with that. Your team's in it every year and you're win a series or two. Um, that's like every fan's dream. But then there's also part of me that's like, I don't like, I don't want to win something because it was one certainly if it was cheated. Um, but I think also there's like maybe I'm just a dumb Mariners fan. But to me personally, I don't have a desire to be the Dodgers and to like get everybody via trade and free agency. And that's a little overblowing it because they do have homegrown talent. Um, but I I don't know. It's I like I like having the thing that has been interesting with like this Mariners team in like the last couple of years has been seeing what appears from the outside. Again, I'm not in the locker room. Commitment to each other, but then that spilling out to a commitment to the city and like seeing guys from the Mariners traveling to go watch the Super Bowl, spend their own money, go and travel and all that stuff. So now, granted, they have a lot of money, but they don't have to do that. So, um, so anyway, I rambled quite a bit there. It's a good question. So I'll let you poke holes in everything I just said.
Well, you you took it in some different directions
Hmm.
there. And so I'm going to bring it, try and summarize a little bit. It sounded like you like the idea of a team that is cohesive,
Hmm.
supports the city, they like each other, they get along. Um, would you feel the same about the Mariners if they were bad?
I think, I think I would like, I'd still be a Mariners fan.
Yeah.
Um, I think back to the years when they were bad. I didn't pay attention as much. I think it's more like, I'd be like, oh, I'm glad they're that way, but I think I wouldn't care quite as much. It would be kind of like, um, yeah, which in one sense kind of, it's like almost makes me a little bit sad that I'm more interested in like the people side of it because of them being successful rather than just being people.
Yeah. I think that's a natural experience.
Well, with people you don't know them. I'm a fan of this team, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know them other than what I see in
Mhm.
the media or social media. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking about this team, this construction of the team. We got new guys coming in. We got, and I'm curious if you were to if we were to pie chart it right now,
Mm-hmm.
if the Mariners make the World Series this year,
Mm-hmm.
how much of that success is due to talent by itself?
Mm-hmm.
How much of it is due to culture?
Wait, this is an interesting one because like I'm thinking about like my own work, like my work experience, for example. And I live in Colorado and we moved here from Idaho. I worked for one company for a while, for a year, and then I'm working with this other company. And the cultures are incredibly different. And I remember having a conversation with the former employer, with all the managers about how the revenue seems to be stalling out at this number every year. And you're kind of just like, how can you not see that the reason is that your turnover is astronomical because your culture is terrible? It was like, so like when you're turning over personnel, even if they're kind of your entry level, it greatly affects your bottom line. But then it also affects if your culture is not great. Like for me in the culture I'm in now, I love my bosses. They're amazing people. They they are heavily invested in doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do and to put our client first. And that comes out uh, not only in our work with them, because it's one thing to be like nice to the client and bad to your personnel. Um, but it's quite different to be consistent in that all the way around. And it creates a culture, it creates an environment where I want to give my best at all times. I'm willing to set, to do whatever I need to do for us to be successful as a team. Um, and so I think when you have a poor environment, you have like, I got to get mine. I want to get out of here, and that's not to say they're not showing up and working hard, from like a baseball player perspective. And like for me and my other job, I was still showing up and working hard and doing what I was asked to do. But am I looking for ways to like really go above and beyond? Not really.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the impact. So I'm gonna put it to you again, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Pie chart it. Mariners go to the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
How much is culture? How much is talent?
Um, Boy, this is so I'm gonna tangent again. This come just because this comes up all the time in sports talk. Like the clubhouse doesn't matter, it does matter, whatever. And just from kind of my little anecdotes and whatnot, I feel like I was fortunate to mostly play on sports teams where we had good cohesion. Um, I think it matters immensely. Um, I'll go, I might even go as high as 70% culture, which is weird to say because you can have good culture and bad players, and it's just not gonna go.
Hmm.
But you can also have immense talent and no culture, and you can be the Mets.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why my pie chart,
Uh-huh.
because you look at the Dodgers.
Hmm.
Here's where I'm going to tangentialize a little bit here. You look at the Dodgers. Yes, they're pouring a bajillion dollars into players.
Hmm.
And it's clear there's also a culture that goes along with it.
Yeah, for sure.
And so
Hmm.
for me, World Series, top of the top teams, I I had a number in my head before you said yours.
Hmm.
I'm going 80-20
Okay.
culture to talent ratio.
Yeah. Well, it's so hard. One, you just can't separate. It's not like you can draw a line and like this is the talent part and this is the culture part. Because good culture makes good talent better, and it even makes like average talent better. It just makes
Mhm.
talent better. Poor culture pulls down performance. Um, and so you might still have a great player have a great season individually. But how many times have you seen, like, I mean, Mark McGuire in his years, Sammy Sosa in his years with the Cubs, and yeah, in '03, they almost made the series and, the whole, fan thing, whatnot. But those teams were not making the playoffs. I don't know anything about their culture or anything like that. But baseball is unique in that um, one player having 70 home runs and setting the world on fire not make you a champion. Can
Mhm.
can even not even help you, not even get you to the playoffs.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing about baseball is that um, the individualness of it is different than basketball or football,
Hmm.
because it is just you at the plate, or it is just mostly, oftentimes just you in the field trying to make a play.
Hmm.
There's choreography to it, but the ball gets hit to you, you got to make the play.
Hmm.
Um, and but at the same time, the team aspect is so crucial.
I
Like you're just saying, Mark McGuire hits 73 home run, not 70, 70 home runs.
hmm
And what?
Yeah.
Nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, I think baseball is every sport has their own kind of different dynamics, but baseball is an interesting one in terms of the trust component, trusting each other to make a play, and like if you don't feel like your teammates are in support of you, don't think you should be there, so on. Like, yeah, the messes with, and I think baseball is mental. It requires so much mental fortitude that those types of distractions, culture wise, I think it flows in any league, but baseball can really. It's weird. It yeah. It's almost kind of counterintuitive, but it. I agree with you. I think the culture is just you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you can convince, like, if somebody's over here going, no, that's not true. Like, I don't know how you convince somebody of that.
Well, that's I mean, maybe why it's a little
Yeah.
bit fun. So,
Yeah.
like folks,
Mhm.
all two of you who are watching, put your pie chart. What do you think?
Mhm.
I'm 80-20. Aaron's 70-30. Where are you at? Tell us why.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be fun to hear. And if you've played on a team that had bad chemistry, what was that like? Because I was trying to think, can you think of a team that we played on that kind of truly had like bad juju?
Ooh, I don't I'm not sure I would say bad juju. I think some teams had better juju than others.
Sure.
The 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 t
Mm-hmm.
the team that comes to mind, you
Mm.
know, that was like, you know, clearly wasn't the best juju was the whatever the middle school year that we played, I think seventh grade when we only won a couple of games.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was even thinking of our sophomore year of high school. Like, again, it wasn't like there was like terrible like it wasn't like we had infighting or something like that. But we had like young, we were young with seniors, and we didn't our talent wasn't like, we had guys who probably like me and should have been in better shape, and the talent maybe could have been better or should have been better, and it just wasn't. But then it wasn't like, because of the age differences, like we weren't all like hanging out together. So that
Hmm.
was a part of it too. And not because they were bad guys, it's just we didn't run in the same circles socially. Um, so yeah, I that one is hard to like. It's exactly the thing. Is like there's culture components, but there's also a lack of talent component. And it's so but that one came to mind for me. Yeah,
Yeah.
we lost the crucial home game to, or not no, crucial, but Colton, who we hadn't lost to in a decade or more, and like
Yeah, well, and
it
that
was.
was pretty much the same makeup for that baseball team that we were on that
Yeah,
we hit 420 as a team. Team batting average 20
17 and 3. Mm-hmm.
and
Lost in the first round.
fell
11,
fell
11
fell
errors.
fell apart in the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, well, much to ponder on. We've got to move on for today. That was a great one. Um, I think about it. It gets talked about now and again. Um, when you kind of apply it to your own teams and that kind of stuff, it's interesting how it all kind of how it comes together. So thanks for hanging with us, folks. We will